Hello, my name is Matthew, and we're reading The Magic Mountain together. The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann. And so far, I've read about 150 pages but there was just an episode that I really wanted to talk about and share with you. Our hero, Hans, has been at this sanitarium for several days now. Finally, a few days have passed, and though Hans really hasn't settled in, there turns out that there's an event on Sundays that he can actually enjoy. On Sundays, the routine of the sanitarium changes a little bit. They'll have activities or events, different things. And on this Sunday, they have an outdoor concert. So they're going to have music playing, and there's tables, and the patients and staff and different people can come out and sit and enjoy the music. So Hans loves this. We learn that Hans is a big music fan. He loves listening to music, and I imagine at the time in which this is set, being able to listen to music still must have been a great luxury. So Hans, on Sunday, he has his breakfast. He has his morning beer that he takes outside to sit at a table so he can smoke his cigar and drink his beer first thing in the morning. And they're going to have live music playing. And so Hans is actually very comfortable and enjoying himself, very happy. And while he's out there, this guy, the Italian humanist who he keeps having these unfortunate conversations with, decides to come over and sit with him. And so Hans, this time, says maybe something relatively innocuous about how much he enjoys music and how great it is. And the Italian is unnecessarily argumentative. This is the first time for me that I felt he was being too strict with his ideas. And the Italian's perspective is that music is suspicious and dubious. It swells the senses and swells the emotions, but it's inferior to literature, because literature can swell the emotions and swell the senses, but also swell the intellect and reasoning. And so he doesn't really care for music, and in fact he describes it as an opiate. It's a way to make people idle and lazy and dull their senses and have time pass without being productive. And so Hans has to sit next to this buzzkill, and all the while this conversation is describing music as these artistic heights. They're using superlatives and really extreme, beautiful language. And we know that Hans likes classical music. He likes Beethoven and all of these things. And now they're having this really deep, strange, off-putting conversation about the virtues of music and the artistic integrity of the musical arts. And this whole little episode has, I think, just a really great ironic punchline. We find out that the band is playing polka. And so I think it's just Thomas Mann has that way of injecting ironic humor. I think that's just a great example. There's another episode that I'll talk about because it's affecting. And after Sunday, after the day of the great Sunday concert with the music, the next day, Hans wants to go out on a walk. He says that he's tired of living a horizontal life, and he's referencing the rest cures, where throughout the day, all of the patients have to lay down and take these naps or just um, stay sedentary. And so Hans wants to wake up one morning and just go out on a walk. And on this particular morning, one of the doctors is going to be giving a lecture on love. And so Hans's cousin tells him, you can go off on your walk, but make sure that you're not late. You need to be here for the lecture. They are both supposed to be in attendance. And so Hans goes off. It's described as a beautiful, warm day. That strange blast of wintry snow has finally gone away. The skies are blue. It's dotted with these tidy, bundled white snowball clouds. And we have the mountain air. And Hans is feeling really good and assured and enjoying his walk. And he doesn't really realize how he's already overexerting himself. He gets himself really far away from the sanitarium, and all of a sudden his body is failing him. He's getting tired, and his face is losing color, and he has to sit down. He gets a nosebleed. All of a sudden he's bleeding all over his face, and he has to lay down and try to stop the nosebleed. There's a recurring theme that these walks that he wants to go on just never really turn out very well for him. But he sees a few people out there, and while he's laying down, he has a childhood remembrance. He's sitting there thinking about a childhood schoolboy friend, a classroom friend that we learn he wasn't actually friends with. They weren't really close, but as he looks back on this time, he realizes how fond or important this other classmate really was to him. And it's one of those sweet, tender, sad memories. It's just being in. He's in his classroom, and he's in need of a pencil, and he goes to this other little boy who he hasn't really had very much interaction with, but he feels closer to him than anybody else, and he asks if he can borrow a pencil, and the little boy provides a pencil for him with a caution and says, don't lose it and don't break it. And Hans is affronted by this and thinks, why would he think I'm the type of person that would break his pencil or lose his pencil? Of course I'm going to take good care and I'll return it properly. But he uses the pencil and makes a point to resharpen it before he returns it. And when he gives it back, he's replied by the classmate with just a brusque thank you. And while Hans, now at the top of this mountain in a sanitarium, who's been overexerting himself on this very long walk, laying on the ground, bleeding from a nosebleed, he's thinking about this and thinking about that classroom friend and the pencil and the shavings, and he realizes that in his home, far, far away, there's still a little drawer that contains those shavings. He saved them because they meant something to him. Very strange, sad, tender story. And he collects himself. He's really having trouble getting up. His legs are failing him. He's exhausted, out of breath, and he cannot manage to get back to the sanitarium. While he's struggling and trying to, a little wagon passes, and he's allowed to sit in the back of the wagon while they pass by the sanitarium for him to return. By the time he gets to the lecture on love that one of the doctors is giving. He's late. He's able to get in, sit in the back. He's sweaty, disheveled, and covered in blood. There's so many things going on in this book. It's so rich with detail and ideas and emotions. But those are a few things that I thought I would talk about. If you're reading along, please let me know how you're enjoying the book, if there's any parts that you really enjoy. Several of you have been leaving lots of really great comments, so thank you for that, and I'm always looking forward to hearing more from you. So leave a comment if you would like, and thank you for watching.